It's your lovely Abbie Dagrin and welcome back to my channel, lovelies. Today I'll be doing something a little special. I was asked to do natal chart analysis on a lot of reality TV stars, and I'll be doing something a little special. So I'll be speaking on how a lot of these stars have a lot of issues with particular other castmates based off of one specific symmetry or congruency. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Please also make sure you hit that like button because I know you guys will also love this video. And last but not least, please make sure you share this video with everyone you know, whether it's your friends, your family members, your enemies, or anyone in general who really loves this content. Now let's get right into the video. Okay guys, I'm going to start with the Real Housewives. So I wanted to do Candace and Giselle. So as we see here, Candace has a Sagittarius sun, Giselle has a Sagittarius moon. I know in astrology sometimes if you have the same sun as somebody else's moon or vice versa, they usually are able to come together close and click at first. But sometimes it can start a lot of things that aren't the best. And something that I've realized with the Housewives is a lot of the people who have the most issues tend to have sun and moon placements in the same place. Because like you guys always see, if you do watch the Real Housewives of Potomac, you do see Candace and Giselle are always having their beefs, but sometimes they always come back together and then they have their beef, come back together. So that's something that is very common when somebody has the same sun and moon with each other. They kind of have a little bit of a connection, but they kind of do reflect each other a lot. So that's what kind of causes the contention. So let me read what a Sagittarius sun really has a lot in and what Sagittarius moon has a lot in. So your sun sign has a lot to do with who you are as a person and your personality. So having a sun in Sagittarius, Candace tends to be someone who's very merry, very witty, and is always looking for adventure. And she's someone who's very optimistic, very honest, and very intellectual. And with having the Sagittarius moon, Giselle tends to be someone who is very active, very independent, and very adventurous as well. She's also someone who tends to be very energetic, optimistic when it comes to her relationship, have a good sense of humor, has a lot of freedom loving in herself. She's someone who is a go-getter as well. So these traits, even though they have a lot in common, I feel as though because they have so much in common with the moon placement and the Sagittarius placement in the sun, they're able to really reflect each other, and that can be very much combative in a way because you're kind of being reflective as to who you are as a person. So that explains a lot as to why Candace and Giselle has a lot of their issues. Up next would be Miss Candace and Miss Ashley. So Candace has a Gemini moon, Ashley has a Gemini sun. They have always had their issues on the show as well, and they've been able to go kind of like tit for tat with each other because they both have a Gemini placement and they're both very witty. So when it comes to their comebacks, they're very great at it, and sometimes it can be the worst or the best. Something with their relationship is they do have their issues, but they tend to be the type of people who will hold back a lot of things that have happened in the past. So even if they do want to move forward, they tend to hold on to a lot of things that you know are valid that the other person has done for them. And even though when they come together, they always are drifted apart. Now let me give you an explanation as to what Gemini moons are and then Gemini suns are as well. Someone with a Gemini sun tends to be very much bright, very much energetic, and they have a great sense of humor. Ashley does tend to be very bright, and she's someone who is very energetic. She loves to do different things and have a lot of fun in her relationship. She is someone who is addicted to things like love, and she loves to do things that will make her partner happy. Now, Candace having a Gemini moon really gives her a lot of her intellectualness. She's someone who is very friendly, very interesting, and she's someone who loves to get an understanding of her emotions. So she likes to get her emotions more in words than in emotions sometimes, but she is someone who's very much optimistic, and she's very quick-witted. She's able to go with reads, and she's someone who's very communicated. And sometimes I think this makes them clash a little bit. Up next would be Miss Giselle and Miss Karen. So Giselle has a Virgo sun. Miss Karen has a Virgo moon. So they clash a lot on the show, but you do see them come together, have a little bit of a heart-to-heart, then they clash again. That's something that's very common with their relationship as well. And this is something that I see very commonly with somebody with a Virgo sun and a Virgo moon, because we always see one side of, oh, they have a great connection, they understand each other, but sometimes it can be very explosive, and a lot of things that are unfortunate can happen. So by Giselle having a Virgo sun, she tends to be someone who's very much going to be very diligent. She's someone who's very industrious, very organized, and she does have incredible intuition. Being very much industrious is something that comes with Virgo placements. They tend to be able to make something out of nothing, and she's been able to do that with her life. Now, having a Virgo moon, Karen tends to be someone who's very practical, very productive, very reliable, very grounded, realistic, and she's a perfectionist. She's someone who's very critical on herself, but she's someone who really is able to express her emotions. So I feel like they both have a genuine understanding for each other because they have a lot of past history, but they're able to clash a lot because they know each other so well in a way that they are able to read each other in a way that other people are not able to do that, because they're able to just understand each other on a different level. So even though having these placements, it's great to have because you're able to understand the other person. However, in a way, it can be a little difficult because you guys may be able to clash on the same things because you're so similar. Up next would be Kyle Richards and Carlton Gebbia. So this is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I did some research because I remember on the show they did not have the best relationship, and then I realized that Carlton has a Libra sun and Kyle has a Libra moon. So they had a lot of contention in that relationship, and they weren't able to really get to a point of understanding like the other previous housewives were able to, and then drift apart. They kind of always had bumps in the roads in their relationship, and Carlton would always call certain things out in Kyle, and Kyle would in a way not really answer her back, but in a way Carlton was able to read Kyle and her character and everything, and Kyle was able to, in some instances, not respond, but in some instances to respond because, they had a lot of contention because of the sun and the moon placement. So by somebody having a sun in Libra, they tend to be very graceful, very magnetic, and are known for being social and charming. Carlton and Kyle are both the same, but in the Libra moon placement, she's someone who's very charming, very charismatic. Kyle, she's someone who's very adaptable, so she can adapt to different positions and adapt to different situations. She's someone who's very smart, very elegant, and she needs balance in her life. She is someone who likes to depend on others, and I feel like they were similar in a lot of ways, and because of that, they had a lot of bumps in the roads in their relationship, and that's what really caused a lot of the issues that they have. Now, next up again will be Kyle and Miss Carlton. So Kyle has a Capricorn sun and Miss Carlton has a Capricorn moon. So they kind of mirrored each other in a lot of ways because they have the same placements in sun and moon. So by Kyle being a Capricorn sun, she's someone who's very grounded, very practical. She's very patient. And she's always looking for the next level to achieve. That's something that comes with Capricorn Sun. Having a lot of placement, having a lot of status is something that Kyle always strives to be. Now by Mrs. Carlton, she has a lot of the same placements, meaning that she's someone who's very practical and she's always knows what's best for herself, but she's someone who's always reserved in a way. She's very committed, she's very realistic, and she's adaptable and resilient. She's someone who's very ambitious, and she's someone who can come across as cold. On the show, a lot of people would say that's how she came across as. And I think if you get to know somebody with a Capricorn moon, the better you get to know them, they're able to be more expressive. But they literally mirrored each other. They literally have the same sun and moon combos switched. And that's something that really shows why a lot of their relationship had so much contention. And this is one of very interesting ones because they never really resolved it. They didn't resolve it and then go back to being bad. Resolve it, go back to being bad. They kind of always been in contention and they just never figured that out. So that's something that's very interesting about these two. But you guys, this is very interesting and this is an observation. I'm going to keep going on. Please let me know down below, did you learn anything new from these things about the Housewives and how they kind of mirror each other, and that's one of the reasons why they have so much contention going on? Please let me know down below who else you guys would want me to do this analysis on as well. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please make sure you have, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload videos. Last but not least, please make sure you hit that like button, that share button. Please make sure you are following me on all of my social media accounts, from Facebook down to my podcast under Abbie Dagrin, my Etsy store under Gael Beauty, and my PayPal link, which is linked down below. Everything will be linked down below so you guys can be able to go there. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.